Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Cam back with another hits and misses video. So, we're gonna talk about the Oakland Las Vegas Raiders, man. And we're gonna get into it, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We're doing real good numbers. And we're gonna keep this going, man. NFL draft season is upon us, so this is what we like to do. Little content here or there. Check out our shorts, check out our other video game streams, our show Sunday, every Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Hope to see y'all there, man. But nonetheless, let's get into this Oakland Las Vegas Raiders hits and misses. It's been a few misses, so let's get into it. All right, so like I always say, to find out where they are, you gotta find out where they've been, man. Um, So obviously they get guys like Tim Brown, 88. I mean Heisman winner, one of the best players in college and in the pros. The Raiders have always done things their way. Drafting Ray Guy, 23rd overall, punter, one of the best punters of all time. Then they draft as we'll get into it, you'll find out who they drafted, man. So Roman Gabriel was pretty good, but he ended up signing with the Rams instead. He's one of the best players. I think he actually passed not too long ago. Yeah, he's one of the best passers in college history, man. He's one of the best passers, man. Trying to be an All-Pro, Pro Bowler. He's pretty damn good, man. Pretty damn good. His first pick overall, actually, in the AFL draft, by the way. But nonetheless, got pretty good. Gene Upshaw was obviously one of those ones that was pretty good. Um, he's a NFL Players Union. He was the head of that. Yeah, NFLPA. Yep, he was the yeah, yep, he was good, man. Yep. Yep. So he was pretty good, man. He was important for players' rights, man. So he was a good one. Jack Tatum, one of the hardest hitting defensive backs ever. I mentioned Ray Guy, one of those Al Davis specials. But Ray Guy was definitely worth every penny you paid him. Part of their 3 Super Bowls, he was one of the best punters ever. Um, if not the best, honestly. He's got an award in his name in college, so he's pretty damn good, man. 82, they go Marcus Allen. 88, they go Tim Brown. You know, like I said, Charles Woodson in 98 was pretty good. But let's start off with 2000. So in 2000, they take a kicker. Like I said, man, Al Davis was he did it his way. He won his way. He lost his way. And that's all you can really ask for. But drafting a kicker first round, 17th overall, is definitely thinking outside of the box. But Sebastian Janikowski drafted in the first round, man. He national champion, Lou Groza Award winner 2 times. Like if you drafting a kicker, you probably want to draft somebody like this, man. But he was pretty damn good, solid kicker. He had a big leg on him. Pro Bowler, um, All Pro. Like he was damn good. And um, obviously you don't necessarily want to do this. But like I said, man, Al Davis did his thing and he did it his way. So you can't go wrong about that, man. But this was a hit because he seen them through some tough years, bro. Now as you'll see, it was pretty tough, man. So 01, they go Derek Gibson, who's a coach now for the Florida Atlantic Owls. So but his playing days, he was there for about 6 years. Um, and a solid player. Solid player. Got some tackles, pretty good. So I call this a hit. Speaking of, he was drafted 28th. He just wants some value, right? So pretty good player, man. '02, they had 2 first round picks, man, and they hit on both of them. Philip Buchanan was pretty damn good. He was there for only 3 seasons, but he was good, man. Productive. What? 11 interceptions throughout his career there. Hopped around after that, but he was pretty productive with them, so I'm gonna call that a hit for them. Then drafted Napoleon Harris. Napoleon Harris is actually, yeah, he's actually a politician now. That's pretty damn good. Yeah, damn, he's a politician. The more you know. The more you know. Damn, damn, wow. That's pretty cool, bro. He's a straight politician. That's what's up. But he's a pretty good football player too, man. 100 tackles, '03. Um, did pretty good. Played all the games. It's just Oakland was kind of bad. I mean, they made the Super Bowl in '01, man, but after that they were kind of bad, bro. 4-12, and then 5-11 during his time there. So they weren't that good, dog. But he's pretty good. Had a really good bounce back season in '07 with the Chiefs, but they were bad too. So yeah, his best seasons on some bad teams, man. But nonetheless, he's pretty good. So I call that a hit. So they hit on both of them. 2003, after losing in the Super Bowl, they obviously had the first round pick, but later. They drafted Nnamdi Asomugha, man. He was pretty good. First team All Pro with them. 8 interceptions in 2006. Pretty good, man. He turned out to be one of the best cornerbacks in the league, man, to be honest with you. And then he went to Philly, and that just really didn't work out, man. He signed a big deal with them. But nonetheless, he was pretty good. Pretty damn good with Oakland, man. Pretty good. Um, so that's a hit. Tyler Brayton, he was only there, well, he was there for about 5 years. 5 years. Not what you expect from a defensive end, but um, I want to say they had some pretty decent players at that particular time, around that time. Yeah, so they said they had Akbar Bajabiamila. They had him, Gerald Sands, Dana Stubberfield. So they had some players, man, that were probably going to hog up that particular growth that he was gonna have, man. But I mean, he played a lot of games. He started a lot of games, so he made some progress, man. So I call it a hit, man. Especially drafting 36th overall. That's tough, man. But I mean, the next season they were really terrible, and then 2004 they drafted Robert Gallery. I mean, I mean, he was there for a while, but not necessarily the best, if you know what I mean. He played a while and they gave him opportunities, but he necessarily wasn't the best. And on a team that needed more than that, because you didn't have a quarterback. You had what's the name? What's the guy's name? Goddamn. Man, who was that? Was that Rich Gannon still? Like, so you need a quarterback for the future, man. And this particular draft, you had some pretty good ones. I mean, Eli obviously went one, but then got traded to the Giants or whatever. But Even before that even happened, you could have snatched up Phillip Rivers and said, "Fuck all that. I'm not trading shit. Like we sticking with Phillip Rivers." Or you could have got Ben Roethlisberger. You know, I wouldn't have got J.P. Loftman, but that's probably what the Raiders would have done. By the way. So I mean, like maybe later on you get a quarterback. I don't know. I don't see anybody. So like I don't know. But they really botched this draft, and I mean it just didn't work out. I mean, then '05 they go Fabian Washington. He was only there for 3 years. He was really fucking fast though. Like yeah, he was like 4.2 speed. So he was really good, man. But like you gotta be more than fast to help this particular Raiders team, bro. They were 2-12. Look, 2-14, bro. Like they were not good. They were not good around this time, bro, at all. So I mean, they ended up picking him, and it worked out, but it didn't matter. But for them, he was solid, so I call that a hit. Then '06 they drafted Michael Huff. Man, Michael Huff was there for about 7 years. He was pretty good. Michael Huff was good. He was kind of a bright spot on some, like I said, some bad Raiders team, bro. Like, like they was bad in '08. They was bad in '09. Like they was bad in '10. Like they went 8-8, but like they still bad, bro. Like yeah, it was like 8-8 again. Like I mean, but even around this time, it seemed like they was turning the corner or whatever. But at the same time, dude, like you back to what you were before. So like I don't know, Michael Huff he was a bright spot on some bad teams, but he was pretty good. And then '07, man, after losing a lot, you get the first overall pick in '07, and like I said before this thing started, man, Al Davis won his way and he lost his way. And I think in his mind, even though he was kind of long in the tooth, and somebody should have just took the car keys from him and just said, "Hey, we gonna do it our way this time." I think if somebody else was drafted, they wouldn't have drafted Jamarcus Russell. I think maybe you go. I wouldn't be mad if you went Calvin Johnson. I wouldn't be mad if you went Joe Thomas. I wouldn't even be mad if you went Adrian Peterson. I wouldn't even be mad if you went Patrick Willis. I wouldn't even be mad if you went Marshawn Lynch, man. I wouldn't even be mad if you went Brady Quinn, bro. Calvin Cobb or whatever. Like, not Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn in that draft? I don't think so. I think he went the year after. Was he that? Yeah, he was. Like, I wouldn't be mad, bro. I wouldn't even have been mad. But you draft Jamarcus Russell, man, and let's just say, man, the last season you saw, it was like, okay, he's got a big arm and everything, right? But you're putting him into a situation that's not conducive to it. Now, don't get me wrong; these are solid numbers, man. Solid numbers, solid growth from what his junior redshirt sophomore season, and then redshirt junior season showed me that hey, this could be a good player. But you put him into a situation that's just not good, man. You go 2-14, so the team's already not good. You get rid of Art Shell, who was actually a pretty good ass player too, by the way. And you draft Lane Kiffin, man. Like you draft Lane Kiffin. I mean, not draft Lane Kiffin. You get Lane Kiffin as head coach, man. But then you only give him a year. A year. You give him a year and 4 games the next year. And like it's just really unfortunate, man. And Lane Kiffin has turned into be one of the best college coaches out there, man. I think USC fucked up when they fired him, but I think he also messed up at Tennessee leaving so early. But USC was probably his dream job, man, and he had them rolling for a little bit. Um, they was good on offense every season he was there, and then he gets fired from USC. Comes to Alabama for a little bit and helps us kind of restore our dominance a little bit. And then he goes and takes the Florida Atlantic job. And Florida Atlantic's still pretty good, but under him, they were even better. Ole Miss, he's had Ole Miss in some pretty good things. They've been close to making the playoffs every season. And if they had the 12 team and we just went off of the AP poll, they would have made it. 23, they would have made it. And 24, they would have been pretty close, right? So he's done pretty good. But with Oakland, it was just he was seemed like he was fighting for his life, his job every goddamn day. And when you draft a quarterback that really needs to be loved and really nurtured, you really don't. It's just that's not a situation you need to be in. He already wasn't supposed to be the number one overall pick. He already was struggling to deal with the team that was pretty bad. His coach really can't be hands on with him as much as you want him to be because he's fighting for his job every goddamn day because he want to get fired. They want to fire him so bad. Like it was really a rough scenario, man. But then like '08 wasn't that bad. '08 wasn't that bad considering the fact that you fired Lane Kiffin the next season and he was only 1-3, you know. But Jamarcus Russell was like Tom Cable wasn't really fucking with him. But even with that, this is still like progress on a team that's really bad, you know. Like '09, like is when kind of the wheels fell off a little bit. But at the same time, Tom Cable wasn't really fucking with dude, and it turned out to be right. And the team was just ass. But then he didn't have that development either going into year 3. And then that's exactly what happened, dog. Um, so this is a bust. I think we all know that. But I really feel like it could have been like he could have been an average NFL quarterback. Maybe not the greatest ever, but he didn't have to be that bad. When you consider the fact of him and his own struggles, the struggles around him just made it impossible for that to even work. That's just how I see it, right? But then, '08, you go after Darren McFadden, but they didn't do Darren McFadden no justice, man. They didn't do him any justice at all. And no offensive line, injury issues, man, which might have been um, the fact that he had no offensive line either. But you can tell, man, he was on his way to doing some stuff, man. I mean, 5 carries in 11, right? With 7 games. So he would have easily had 1,500 at least, right? 10, right? These are the good years. 8-8 under Tom Cable, right? And then 11, they went 8-8, you know. Got a pretty good team. He just ended up getting hurt. And then 12 is kind of back to ass again. So like I'm gonna call it a hit, man, but just injuries, bro, kind of took him away, man. And then '09, they take Darius Hayward Bay, which was a surprise to no one, to be honest with you, because like I said, at that particular time, bro, you like the college production wasn't even that. So I guess to everybody else it was a surprise. But when you're dealing with I wanna say, let me kind of confirm that, but I wanna show y'all who was picked around that time, bro, that they missed out on. So you missed out on Michael Crabtree, bro. They didn't pick Michael Crabtree, and that was kind of bad, bro. That was a horrible decision because in terms of like production, bro, nobody was as productive as Michael Crabtree was in college, bro. He almost had 2,000 yards receiving in his first year playing, and then 20 touchdowns again the next year. So I don't understand what happened. But I know Darius Hayward Bay was kind of fast, and that was fine. I think that's what they fell in love with, that 4.3 speed. But shit, man, you ain't got no quarterback. That shit don't matter. Like you could have went Mark Sanchez, maybe. Shit, maybe Josh Freeman, who was kind of good with the Bucks until Greg Schiano showed up at the front door. Like, so I don't know, but that was a miss, man. That was a miss. Like I don't think it ever worked out. Like I really don't think it worked out at all for Oakland at the time, bro. Like he had like one good season, maybe two if you count this year with 600 yards, but it was ass, man. It was horrible. So that was a miss. At seventh overall with other options, yeah, that's bad. 2010, they went to the Alabama well and got Rolando McClain, but he had some off the field issues as well. But but when he was on the field, he was pretty damn good, man. He was pretty damn good. So I'm gonna call that a hit. But like I said, they had some okay seasons around the time. But he thought they was turning the corner though. Honestly, like around 10, 11, when they had the last year of what Tom Cable, and then the last year of the last year of Tom Cable, and then the first year of Hugh Jackson. I thought they were doing okay. Like, 8-8. Al Davis is still making the call, man. Right? What is that? 10? That was 10, wasn't it? 10. And then Al Davis is still making the team decisions. Al Davis died in 2011. So then his son Mark takes over, right? So you can tell that they was trying to make some moves, right? So maybe Mark was still making more moves as Al Davis was kind of towards the end. But firing Hugh Jackson was definitely wrong. Definitely wrong. Now, yeah, Hugh Jackson had his struggles with Cleveland, right? But he was 8-8 with the Raiders in 2011, right? 8-8. Um, and we already know what happened in Cleveland. They were just those were bad teams, and he was just kind of the scapegoat for that. But they was pretty good, and they had no pick, which turned out to be real bad, right? Because they wanted to get Richard Seymour, which they probably just should have left that alone. And then they tried to get Carson Palmer to try to help, but that didn't really work for real. And then 13, they draft DJ Hayden, right? 12th overall. I mean, he got some pretty cool size or whatever. But he was there for about 5 years, man. But when you draft somebody 12th overall, you want a little bit more than that, in my opinion. That's all, man. That's all I'm saying. So he was, we got there, and after Hugh Jackson, You know, they get Dennis Allen, and he's no good. He's 4-12, and then 4-12 again. And then you get Hayden, all right. So that's no good. But 2014, you strike on some gold, man. You get Khalil Mack, 5th overall, man. And you know, and he turned up, man. He turned up with Oakland, man. 15, 11, 10, 12, well, 15, 11, 10. Then he moved to Chicago. But nonetheless, this was good. He was good as hell with Oakland. But, I mean, 7-9 with Derek Carr kind of being the guy, right? You know, 3-13, right? And Tony Sperano took over, and that was just ass. So 2014 was kind of a wash. But when they got Jack Del Rio, oh boy, that's when I thought, I was like, okay, they was gonna be good. They was gonna be good. Because Jack had a tough run. He had a tough run with Jacksonville. It was just up and down, up and down. As you see, right? 5-11, 9-7, 12, 8-11, and up and down, right? So with Oakland, they ended up 12-4, right, in 2016, right? And I think Derek Carr ended up getting hurt in like the last game, and that kind of fucked up their team. But they had a really good team, bro. And Khalil Mack in 2016 was one of them ones, bro. Like they was good, and that's what happened though. But he was an all pro with them. Like that was a hit, and you knew it was a hit, right? In 2015, they got Amari Cooper, right? They went to the Alabama well again, and he had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. And then 2017 obviously wasn't that good, but nonetheless, they ended up pretty good in my opinion. You know, he's a good player. And then they traded him like he still I think got 1,000 yards. I gotta do my math, but that's pretty damn close to 1,000 yards again in 18 when they traded him to Dallas. Because Dallas he went off in those 9 games, bro. And then 19 with Dallas he went off. Cleveland like he's still a pretty good receiver, over 10,000 yards. Like he's still been pretty good, man. I don't know what team he's on right now, but somebody need to pick him up because he's still good in my opinion. But he was good for the Raiders, and that was a hit, man. Then they go Carl Joseph. He was only there for about 4 seasons and had some productive play, so I call that a hit too. He was productive for them. And then I want to say, so he was with Oakland, and then Ohio State player, Jerry and Connolly. I think that's his name. 25th overall, 24th overall. He didn't really do nothing with them for real. Like he was a national champion or whatever, but he ain't really do nothing. Not really. Like some tackles here, an interception, and just one. Like, but not really. Didn't really do much. So I'm gonna call that a miss. All right, in 2018, they dropped Colton Miller, who is still on the team. You know how I feel about that. If you still on the team, they keep you around. You're doing your thing, man. So they moved to Las Vegas in 2020. So let's keep that in our mind, right? So they still in Oakland, and then they trade Khalil Mack, right? So let's keep this in mind. So let's go to Cleveland first so we can explain this a little bit better, right? So okay, so they still in Oakland, 2019. they go get John Gruden. So I want to say that's 2018. So 2018, they go get John Gruden because Jack Del Rio has sort of a bad season, and but they go get John Gruden, right? And they start to do some different stuff, man. They start to try to change the team around. So in 2019, their last year in Oakland, they draft. Well, let's go a little bit further back. They end up trading Khalil Mack, right? And they got a host of good players. Right? They got first, the sixth, another first, and then another first. Yeah, and the first in 2020 as well. So then they got the 24th pick as well. So they got a good haul for Khalil Mack, but you probably should have just kept him because Cleveland Farrell really didn't do nothing for them. Not really. He wasn't what they was expecting, especially coming out of Clemson. He was supposed to be really, really good. But he wasn't one of those. He didn't do nothing. Then they hit on Josh Jacobs, right? And Josh Jacobs was a pretty good player, man. He was good in Oakland. When he went to Las Vegas, he was good. Led the league in rushing in 22. And then they just didn't want to pay him, I guess. And then he just decided to go to Green Bay and do good there. So they missed out on a good one. They could have kept him. And then now you would have your star running back with Geno Smith, and maybe still get Brock Bowers later, but who knows? But you should have kept him. And then they drafted Jonathan Abram, who isn't even on the team right now. And even he didn't really do nothing except for 2021 when he had 100 tackles. But after that, it wasn't nothing. So that was a miss. So you get all of this draft capital between your team being bad and trading Khalil Mack, and you really only hit on one of them. That's it. And then 2020, you go after Henry Ruggs, right? Who turned out to be pretty good at first. You knew what you was getting, a speedy guy, but that was it. He ended up, you know, making a serious error off the field, crash that caused a fatality due to some drunk driving. And that was it. That was it, man. And who knows what's happening after that? I don't know. But it turned out to be a miss because he ain't there. I don't know what he's gonna do after he gets out of. I don't know what he's gonna do after he gets out of jail. If he wants to play again, I don't know. But it's gonna be a rough road to redemption for him. Once he gets out, man. But that was a miss in 2020. Damon Arnett is with the Roughnecks. I want to say that's the UFL. So he ain't supposed to be there being picked in the first round. So he ain't do nothing in Las Vegas when they moved there in 2020. Um, Alex Leatherwood was on the team, but now he's not. And he's been on the practice squad the last few years, man. So turned out not to be one of those ones, man. So that was a miss. That was a miss, man. Although he did start all the games though, which is surprising that they would, they waived him. But they said he had some struggles with offensive guard, man. But that's because he's not a guard. Oh wait, never mind. I take it back. He struggled at tackle. That's why they moved him to guard. My bad. But that turned out to be a bust, man. And 2022 they have no pick, traded it to Green Bay. to get Devontae Adams, which at the time felt like a good move, but then not so much, man. And then 2023, they go after Tyree Wilson in the first round, seventh overall. I mean, he's still there now, but this production has to change. It has to change, man. You need him to match Max Crosby's energy, bro. You need somebody that's gonna match his energy. So this is kind of a make or break season for him. And then 2024, they draft Brock Bowers, who turned out to be like he's one of the best tight ends in college football. Man, he was nasty, nasty. And then he come into the league and just do nasty shit. And this is with not so good quarterback play, if you ask me. So to keep this in context, right? We're under Antonio Pierce's run, right? Josh McDaniels gets fired, which he shouldn't get another head coaching job ever in life, ever again in life. So John Gruden had to resign because of some bullshit, basically. Um, like Henry Ruggs gets in trouble. Like this was a rough season for. It was a rough season for the Raiders, man. But I mean, Mike Mayock was pretty good. I mean, I love Mike Mayock in NFL Network. He was good. But they missed on some draft picks around this time, but they still was good, and John Gruden was definitely on the right path. But there, like I said, there was some, there was some emails, like, I don't know, there's emails before he got the job, basically. And they'll say, oh, he's a racist or whatever, but it wasn't that serious, man, in my opinion. And all of his players love him, so it wasn't. They knew it wasn't that serious. But then, like I said, then they hired Josh McDaniels, which was stupid. And then they hired John. I mean, then Josh McDaniels was fired and all kind of shit. So now we move into 2024, right? And Antonio Pierce is the guy, but they struggled to put anything around him. And now we're in the Pete Carroll era, right? So going into going into 2025, Pete Carroll, they have a quarterback now, and the Raiders are picking at 6. So I think you go after Ashton Genty and get you a running back. Get you a running back, hand the ball off to him, and stabilize that offense. One thing about Pete Carroll, he's always had good running backs. Curtis Martin when he was in New England for that time. Then he had beast mode, and so he's always had a good running back as a head coach. So why not do that again? So that's what I'm thinking. We got Geno Smith, third round trade, right? They get Tom Brady as part-time owner of the Raiders, right? So he gonna make some news. So he got some of his Tampa Bay buddies, right? And then Pete Carroll is the guy, oldie but goodie, right? So like, yeah. So then Chip Kelly's gonna run the offense, right? You know, so it's some good going into this season, man. But you gotta hit on that first round pick. That has to be an impact player. There can't be no project. There can't be nothing. You gotta hit on that pick at 6. Got to. Right? And then you gotta add some depth pieces probably on the offensive line. And then from round 3 and 4 and 5, these have to be like offensive line, like the meat of your team. Those players have to be good within the first 2 years in the league. You gotta be good, and then you might get some steals and diamonds in the rough here. But I mean, the sixth pick overall has to be Ashton Genty. But I mean, honestly, man, I mean they drafted okay. I mean, some serious misses though. But then drafting good players, but not putting nothing around them. McFadden, Huff, Rolando McClain, he needed some help off the field. But I mean, the NFL was a more callous league back then, right? Hayden didn't do nothing. Khalil Mack, you end up trading. Amari Cooper, you end up trading. And then some misses. And then you get rid of Josh Jacobs. That's somebody you can have. Henry Ruggs might have been a good player had he not gotten in trouble, right? Arnett, Leatherwood, nothing, right? So these are just a lot of misses, man. A lot of misses that probably should have been hits. Man. Like so, that's your Oakland Raiders, in my opinion. That's your Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. Your that's your Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders hits and misses, man. A lot of misses, but some hits, and some hits that they didn't decide to keep. So y'all let me know what y'all think about what the Raiders should do in 2025 with the sixth overall pick. Let me know how you feel about them moving to Las Vegas, man. Let me know how you feel about the Oakland Raiders as a whole, man. Al Davis drafting philosophy. Let me know all of that in the comment section below, man. But we will be back on this next. We'll be back on this next thing, and we're gonna talk about the San Diego Los Angeles Chargers, man. We're gonna talk about them next, man. But I'm Cam, football frame of mind, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.